Exercise. Again, we will start with the web application. And I'm going to give the name of this as handling sessions using cookies. Handling sessions using cookies. There's not much of a thing to be done except click on finish. So we have a project. So these are not really required. Let's try to create a cookie and then try to read them back. We will use the servlet to create the cookies. So let's go to the source packages, right click on them, and I'm going to say new servlet. So I'm going to create a servlet and I'm going to give it a name as controller. As usual, the package is com and nothing else need to be done. So how do I create cookies? Just a demo to just recall how did we created cookies. To create cookie, you will have to start a class from the Java X servlet.http. The name of this class is cookie. Let me give it a name as C equal to new cookie. Name of it I'll say cookie some number, and the value some name and some value. How do I pass this to the other side? To pass this cookie to the client side, we need to use the response dot add cookie, and that's it. The cookie will be sent to the client side. Now this is one cookie. How many cookies can you send? So it is depends on how many cookies a browser will accept. Okay? And what must be the size of the individual cookie? Again, it depends on the browser. Okay? You can send as many, but there are restrictions. Some of the browsers don't allow you to or don't accept too many cookies on from a given site, because it is cookie is nothing but a piece of text that is getting stored at the client side. So they don't want too much of a text from the server side. So usually we don't store too many things there. Okay, so let's try to run a for loop. So I'm going to say for I, double tap, for I is equal to 1 to say 10, and I'm going to get this piece from here to the other side. So from for I is equal to 1 to 10, I just dragged it up. So it is there right at the top. If you are not able to drag it, just cut and paste it. So that means we will be sending 10 cookies to the client side. So if you run the application or if you run this servlet, 10 cookies will be sent to the client side. Okay. Uh, let's run this thing now. So if you're able to get that hello world type of message, that means you have accepted 10 cookies from the server. Okay, there is a minor problem. It just says, if you notice over here, this name is reserved. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I will say, it just says that if you look at the error message here, it just says that cookie name 1 is a reserved token. You cannot use that. Okay, it's all right. And also I want to slightly modify the value, and I'm going to say this is I plus that. So I will start with I equal to 1 to 10. I'm slightly modifying my for loop for I is equal to 1 to 10. Otherwise I'll get cookie 0. Instead of that I want to get it as cookie 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So I want to change the name. So for I is equal to 1 to 10, the values will be the value of I. Also, I want the cookie name to also get come in the same way. So I'm going to say cookie. I'll put it as a single word, cookie, and dollar 1, 2, 3, 4. So my cookie 1, 2, 3, 4, something of that type. It's a name, so I will not put it as a space in between. So how it's going to appear is cookie 1, cookie 2, cookie 3 and so on. It's going to appear like that. Let's give it a try now. So you will not say anything because this is the payload that is being shown to you. But your browser has definitely accepted the 10 cookies. If you want, you can verify that thing. You can go to the tools, developer tools, and if you look at the cache and view cookie information, it must show you so somewhere you will start noticing that it's going to take it as my cookie 1, 2, 3, 4, and the value inside this cookie will be corresponding values. So you have accepted so many cookies. Now I want to slightly modify that. So I have sent 10 cookies to the client. Next time I don't want to send 10 cookies to the client. So what I'm going to do now is I will remark this statement. The shortcut for that is control and the forward slash. Select all of them and control and forward slash, either to remark it or unremark it, or else you have a way of doing it from here. Okay, so I'm going to comment it. so that I will not be sending it again. I have already sent those cookies to the client place. Now I want to read them back one after the other. So let me try to read them, and after reading I want to show them to the user. So I will first get rid of this line, and I'm going to read them and display it at the body of the JSP. So I'm going to first create, in the last class I told you, you need to create an array of cookies. And you have to read the cookies into this array. How do I do that thing? Request dot get cookies. It will read a array of cookies. All the 10 cookies that you have sent will be now stored in this array. Now I'm going to go through individual one of them. So I'm going to say for I, double tap, so the rest of the things it will do it for you. For I is equal to 0, I dot cookies dot length. Cookies is nothing but the array there, so array dot length. You will be iterating through all the cookies which are there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a simple out dot print line. And I'm going to put it inside h3 tag. The details of the cookies. So I'm going to say cookie name, and the name has to come there, and value has to come after this. So in the place where the name is there, the actual name of the cookie has to come, and in the place where the value is there, the value has to come. So here I'm going to break this section, and individual value. So cookie of I is taken as the variable cookie. So I'm going to say cookie dot get name. That will give me the name of the cookie. Similarly, at this place I'm going to get the value of the cookie. Sorry, this is not just value. Cookie dot get value. So you're just iterating and reading one cookie along with its value. And you notice that this time when you are running it, you are not sending the cookie. Cookies are already there with the client, and I want to read them back. So I have sent 10 cookies, and I expect to get them back. So if I run this thing, I will notice that I'm able to read all the 10 cookies which were sent last time. This time I have not sent. Last time I have sent, and I'm able to read the value back. So you can send the cookie. Next time for any request, all these 10 cookies are going to come back. Once you send it, next time they are going to come back to you. So the browser automatically sends those cookies back to you. Now the question is, what if you want to delete that cookie which is there at the client place? Remember that value cookie is there at the client side. You cannot say delete cookie. Delete cookie will delete it on the server. But I want that thing to happen on the client side. How can I delete a cookie? To delete a cookie, what you have to do is you have to set an expiry time on the cookie. So how do I do that thing? Here I am reading a cookie. Okay. So the name is cookie. then I can set the maximum age. You notice that maximum age is the expiry for the cookie. Maximum age in seconds. So what does it says? Okay, cookie will expire after the seconds that you have specified here. So if you specify the second as 60 seconds, after 60 seconds, the client, the browser machine automatically deletes the cookie from its machine, not from your machine. It's going to do it on its machine. But there are a few other things that you have to take a note of it. One is, this is an integer. If the value that you are supplying here is negative, that means cookie is not stored persistently. What's the meaning of saying cookie is not stored persistently? What's the meaning of saying persist? Permanently. What is the meaning of saying permanently? Permanently means the value of the cookie is stored in the hard disk of the machine. So even if the machine shuts down and comes back, when the browser is started again, it will be able to get that cookie. What is the meaning of saying it will not be stored in the persistent way? It means to say that the values are not stored, or that value is not saved into the hard disk. Then where is it? It will be there in the memory. So when you start the Internet Explorer allocates a memory in the RAM, and it's going to store that value in the RAM. So what will happen if you close the Internet Explorer? If you close the Internet Explorer, the value of the cookie is destroyed. So this is, if you want to store the cookie, as long as the browser is open, you want to store the value of the cookie. But once the browser is closed, you want to remove all the values, then make it as negative. But we have not done that thing. We gave the positive values to the cookie. Now what is the next option? The next option says, suppose if you set this as 0, then the cookie will be deleted. So if you set the expiry time as 0, that means the cookie has to be immediately destroyed. So I'm going to say the expiry is 0. So the cookie is the maximum age for this cookie is 0. So if I run this thing, will the cookies get deleted? Yes. Let's run it. So you see all the 10 cookies have been shown there. Press F5 to refresh it, and you see nothing happens. You press 10 times, refresh, nothing happens. Why nothing is happening? Why nothing is happening? Nothing happens because if you notice carefully over here, what you have done is you have set the maximum age of that cookie. That's there in your machine, but that cookie is not transferred to the client side. So this cookie is there on this server. You just create the object, destroy it. It is not sent to the client side. So what I am supposed to do after this? After this, I am supposed to send this cookie to the client side. Now what is happening? You set the age of the cookie and send it. Now which cookie is going to go to the client side? When I is equal to, I think again, I think I is equal to 0, there is a come to 0 state. So when I is equal to 0, you are going to get the first cookie. Already there is the cookie with the name, with the same name, that is cookie 1, 2, 3, 4. These are already there. Again you are sending the same cookie. The cookie is already there. The cookie my cookie 1 is there. The value is immaterial. The name, the same name cookie is there. It receives one more. Now what is happening? The browser already has the cookie 1. It receives the same cookie with the same name. In that case, what the browser will do is it will replace the old one. So when you send a cookie, with the same name back to the client. Again, the existing cookie which is there on the client place will be overwritten with the new cookie. So this cookie 1, cookie 2, cookie 3 up to 10 are already there on the client machine. You are sending one more set. So all these 10 will be replaced. But when they are replaced, what is going to happen? When they are replaced, you have set the age for the new cookie as 0. So that means new cookies are definitely going to replace the old one, but they will immediately expire because you have set the maximum age for the cookie as 0. So let's run this one more time. I'm going to save this one more time. Remember, for the first time, it's going to show the thing. If you notice, for the first time, it's going to show the all the 10 cookies. Why it is showing all the 10 cookies? Because it was reading the cookie, setting the new value and sending. So the red value is being shown. If you press F5 now, that means if you are asking it again to read the same thing, it will not be able to read anything. For the first time, it was reading the cookie, it changed the value and sent it. That value is displayed. Next cookie, read the value, sent it. But when it is sending, it is actually replacing with the 0 maximum age. So next time if you ask it, okay, again show me the list, nothing will be available because the cookies are all destroyed. So they are no longer available. So this is how you modify the value of the cookie. So if you want to modify the value of the cookie, what you have to do is you have to send the cookie with the same name with the different parameters or with the different values to the client. Immediately the client will replace it. So there is nothing called as delete a cookie because it has to be deleted from the client side, not from your server side. So this is how we are able to send and receive the cookie. Now let's take one extra step, and that is we are going to validate the user, then we are going to take some action. Now what is that I am going to do? How did I, what is the usual technique of handling a session? So let's recall what is the general technique of handling a session. Whenever, so you have your server here or your application here, whenever, or your servlet, whenever a client comes to your place, what is that you are asking the client? So if you want to retain a session with the client, you are asking the client, do you have a ID? So that's the usual thing. So when the request is made, you just ask the client, do you have an ID? If the client says, I don't have an ID, then you generate a unique ID and give it to the client and ask the client, next time when you are coming back, get this ID. This is how I am going to remember your identity. So this is the usual technique. So when the client comes, you ask the client, do you have a ID? The client says, I don't have an ID. Generate an ID, give it to the client, and then say, next time when you are coming back, get this ID to me. So that is your identity. Okay. So in this case, how do we do it? In this case, we ask the client, do you have a cookie with the specific name? So do you have a cookie called ID? The client says, I don't have a cookie with the name ID. Then we generate a cookie, give it to the client, and ask the client, next time when you are coming back, get that cookie back to us. So let's try to do that thing. These things are not required. I'm going to remark them. Let's go right at the beginning. So we will go here somewhere. We will first read all the cookies. So how do I read all the cookies? So I have to say cookie, I have to create an array. I'll take C equal to request dot get cookies. Now what are the possible values you can get now? What are the possible values this array can have? What are the possible values you can get? Yes. What are the possible values we can expect for this statement? What are the possible values for this statement? What are the possible values? Yes. One of the possible values at least. When you ask request dot get cookies, what could be a possible value? Yes. What could be one possible value? One number, it's an array. Yes. Yeah, louder, let's see. Zero, no, that is you're close to it, but it is not zero. Something different from zero. Null. So it is not. Why it is not zero? Because it's a reference variable. It's a variable for a object collection. Okay. So one of the possible values, it can have any number of elements for the array. If you have sent 10,000 cookies, you will get 10,000 array of 10,000. That is obvious. But the other possibility is you might not have sent anything to the client side and you're simply asking the client how many cookies are there. Then the client, then that will return a null value because there are no cookies are there. So it's not going to be zero, it's going to be null. So one of our criteria is if you find that C is equal to null. What's the meaning of this? It just means to say that this is the first time ever the client is visiting your servlet. The first time. They have not visited so far. It's the first time they are coming and you are just asking them what's the value or how many cookies do you have. So the client says null. What does that mean? If the client says null, I don't have any cookie, what does that mean? It simply means that this is the first time they are visiting. So what is our technique? If the client is coming for the first time, then we will generate a identity for the client and we will give that identity to the client. So let's generate a identity. The way in which I'm going to do it is I will take this random as my possible choice. So random RAND equal to new random. This will generate a random number. This generates just a random number and I'm going to say long id equal to random dot next long. I'll generate a long number. Now this could be some calculation here that generates a unique number because the random numbers are roughly unique. I assume that it's going to be a unique number. So I got the identity. This is just an identity. I just generate an identity unique ID for the client and I'm going to give it to the client. How do I give it to the client? So I'm going to say cookie okay CID, that is the client ID, is new cookie. The name of the cookie is user ID. Value is the ID. Remember, it's a string. Some value. Again, this is a problem. There is one extra. Immediately, I'm going to say response dot this is one possibility. Okay. So if there is no cookie, then you generate and add a cookie to it. There is the other possibility. What's the other possibility? Other possibility is the client has some cookie, but he doesn't have a cookie with the name user ID. They may have many other cookies, but not a cookie with the name user ID. So how do I verify that thing? Okay. So I'm going to say for I, double tap, for I is equal to the same thing. Okay. I get one value. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to check if, okay, cookie dot get name equal to user ID. Is this the right syntax? Is this the right syntax? So what is that I'm trying to do? I have a cookie. I check whether the name of the cookie is equal to user ID. So this is our identity cookie. This is how we refer the client. So I'm checking the cookie dot get name is equal to user ID. Is this the way of writing? What is the other way of writing? What is the problem with that statement? What's the problem with that statement? If cookie dot get name double equal to user ID, yes, it's a string. We cannot compare a string. So what must be the way of comparing string? Dot equals. Now we will ask the NetBeans. Don't type that thing. We will ask the NetBeans for the help. So it just says you are messing it up. So it just says, so you are trying to, are you sure that you want to compare two strings with the equal sign? It's going to compare two objects. So I don't know what has to be done. So I'm going to just click on this bulb and then say, okay, so then use equals. So it just suggests the better option is use equals. Do not use, if you want to compare it, it's well and good, but that's not this type. So I'm going to just double click on it. And you notice a strange thing it has done. It has changed your statement altogether. So look at what the NetBeans has done. NetBeans gave you a suggestion. You said cookie.getName equal to user ID. So you expected it to write like this. But it was not doing the, it did it in the other way around. You wrote like cookie.getName double equal to user ID. So you expected it to just add instead of equal sign. So you just wrote like this. You wrote it this way. And you expected it to replace this double equal with equals. But it almost modified everything and brought it in the other way around. What could be the reason for NetBeans to change everything to modify and give it to you? What is the possible reason why it is doing like that? Why not it has just changed that the double equal to with equals? What is the possible? What's the reason behind it? Why not just add equals? Yes. Anyone? Why it didn't just change it to the double equal was just changed to dot equals? Why did it brought that user ID first and then started comparing it? Yes. What's the anyone? What is the reason for doing the other way around? What's the advantage, at least, of doing it in the other way around? Yes. It looks a very simple statement. It is a very silly statement. But when you are writing a code like that, you will end up in a trouble. If you did it this way, you would have ended up in a trouble. What was the problem? It has nothing to do with the practical. If you have written it this way, you would have ended up in a trouble. There was a possibility when you might have ended in a trouble. When do you think you will end up in a trouble if you try to go in this way round? When? When the problem will occur. If you write like this, at one point you will end up in a big trouble. When? When the value is not obtained. What's the meaning of it? Remember, this get name returns a string. String is an object. If string is not there, what is going to be returned? If the string was not there, get name was not there, what that method will return? Null. Then what would have happened? You would have called dot equals on that null. You cannot call dot equal on a null. So if you write like this, if suppose for your bad luck, if the name was not there, it will return a null, then what you will write is null dot equals. Immediately Java stops your program and says, I don't know how to compare null. There is nothing called as null dot equal. So your method breaks. What is the advantage of writing like this? You know that regardless of whatever that happens, this is a constant string and it is a string. You are 100% sure that it's a string. Its value will not change. So this will be true in any case. The other side may be null. It's alright. That method is going to compare even with the null. So be careful when you are writing, when you try to use those equals and all the other methods. So this is a kind of safety trick that you have to follow. Always, whenever you have a constant, put that constant right at the beginning, so that you are not ending up in a trouble at later stage. So if you can't do that, just ask the IDE to help you out. Most of the IDE will help you out with the proper technique. Okay. So let's come to the next part. So if it is equal, then you got it. Otherwise, you have not got it. So let me go up here. Okay, and I'm going to create a Boolean variable here. ID exists. Then I had a for loop. And I had an if statement. So if you find that user ID cookie exists, so what you can do? I can say ID, I'll just make it as capital here. ID exists is true, and I'm going to break this for loop. Again, you will notice that if you keep the cursor over here, it's going to highlight one of the for loop, telling you which for loop is going to break now. So if you have many for loops and if you really don't know which for loop will be broken if that break is being executed, then you just place the cursor there. It will tell you which one logically which one is going to break. So this is your for loop, and if you get the ID, it's going to break. Okay. If not, what will happen? If not, what must be done? So if the for loop is not broken, so we come out and we are going to say if not ID exists. So after going to the for loop, if you don't get the ID, then what you have to do? You have all the cookies except the identity. That cookie is not there. In that case, what you are going to do? I will just copy paste the whole thing again. You can write a method to do it. I just copy paste this whole thing, random equal to new random number and all those things, and I'm going to just paste it. You can the good way is to write a method. Okay, you can copy paste it. Can I write a method? So that's the next one. Can I write a method for this statement? Will the IDE help me to generate a method? So I've selected 4 lines there. So instead of copy, you know very well if you are doing a same method, if you copy paste it, what will happen? Tomorrow, if you want to make changes to these 4 lines, you have to go to all the places wherever you have pasted and make the changes. That will introduce unnecessary bugs into your program. So how am I going to pull a method out of these 4 lines? So is it possible? Let's right click on this, and then I'm going to go here. Do you have a refactor? Where is this refactor? So you have a refactor, and you have lot of methods. What is that? Convert it into a method. I can't read it. So do you have something? Where is that? Save, delete, change method parameter, pull up, extract interface, superclass, convert, introduce parameter, introduce a method. Let's go for that. Introduce a method. Okay. So let's click on it. So I said introduce a method under the refactor. So it's going to say, okay, what is the name of your method? I'm going to just say it's a private method. It just says, okay. And I will just say, okay, create identity. That's the name of my method. Click OK, and it also says that replace other occurrences. If they are there, replace them. Click OK. Okay, replace the duplicate, and because I selected, click the other occurrence. If the same lines are there elsewhere, pull them out. It just says there are other places where these 4 lines are there. Do you want to go ahead with it? I'm going to say yes. Go ahead. What it has done is it replaced those lines with the create identity. If you look at the top side, it has also done the same thing, but it is passing one parameter to it. Why it is passing a parameter? Why do you think it is passing a parameter? Let's go to the function now. I can right click and say go to navigate to, just keep your cursor on it, right click and say navigate to the source where this function is written. So right click, navigate to the source. It will take you to the place where it has added that method. Why did it took this response dot that is HTTP response? It's because somewhere you are saying response dot add cookie. To get that response dot add cookie, you have to get that response into that method. That's why it also automatically did that thing for you. So it's much easier. You have a set of lines that needs to be converted into a method. Most of the IDEs will do it. It's not just the NetBeans. Almost all IDEs can help you out with that. So you can start a parameter. Most of the things, general help will be available almost everywhere. So I create the identity. So that's the one part. So let's look at the execution of this program. I'm going to save everything, and I'm going to run this program. Initially, what will happen when you run this program? You will, nothing will come, no doubt. You are not doing any great things here. Okay. If you go to the, you can press F12. If you go to this developer, and if you go to cache and view cookie information, and then press Control F for UID, you will notice that there are many UIDs. I'm in much bigger trouble. I think I better change my option because there are too many UIDs out there. So what we can, we will not be able to get. I think this is mine. I don't know. Are you getting one or do you have too many? You have one? Yes? You get that one user ID, okay? I have too many because I'm actually connected to the net. I use this one to browse the net. I might have got the UID from many places. Okay, you got that thing. It is sent to the to you. Now that is one scenario. If the user ID is not there, you create an ID and give it to the user. There is the other angle for this problem. That is, user is coming to you, and the user says, "I don't have any ID." So user just says, "I don't have an ID." What are you going to do? You visit a site and you don't have an ID. What the site will do? Yes? So you visit Gmail and you don't have an ID. What is the next option? It will ask you to create an ID. Yes? Okay? Other option is there. You have an ID, but you have not logged in. There are two possibilities out there. You have an ID, but you have not logged in. So if you have an ID and if you are not logged in, then the login page has to be shown to you. Okay? In that login page, there is an option. If you don't have a ID, create a new ID. It is free and so on. So let us handle that thing. Now user is coming to us and the user says, "I don't have a ID." In that case, what we are going to do is we will redirect the user. We will tell the user, "Don't come here. Go to that page, either log in or create a new ID and come to our place." So how am I going to do that thing? I want a utility program to clear that ID, because when I give the demo, I want that one of the servlet to delete the unnecessary IDs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more servlet. This is not part of the actual demo, but I want that thing to delete the ID as and when it is required. So I'm going to create one more servlet, and I'm going to say this servlet as delete all cookies servlet. One small servlet that's going to delete all the cookies. So whenever I'm in trouble, I will whenever I want those unnecessary cookies to be deleted, I will just call this one and I'm going to delete or clear all the cookies. So there is nothing much you can do. I will just finish it off. How do I delete all the cookies? So I will go here to this line is not really required. I will first get all the cookies. So cookies, array of all the cookies. C equal to request dot get cookie. Then I will use for I double tap, so it's going to give the values. Then I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this cookie and I'm going to set the maximum age for this as 0, and I'm going to response it back. So I read the cookie, set the value to 0, send it back again so that it is wiped out. After that, I'm going to just give a message out.println. Let me say all cookies are deleted. Just one message to after the for loop, so that I will come to know that the cookies are wiped out. So this is a utility that is required whenever I want the to delete the cookies. So when I run the program, I may have a problem. Okay. So if you run this, what is going to happen? If you run this program, it's going to wipe out all the cookies. That's the only thing I'm doing. All cookies are deleted. So it means say it's not just because I wrote a message it's going to delete it. I'm actually setting all the expiry age for all the cookies to 0. Okay, so our next challenge is let's go to the controller. Now this is just a utility that will wipe out the cookies as and when it is required, so that we'll be able to understand what is going on. Okay, let's come here to our controller. In the controller, what we are doing, we check whether is there a cookie. If there are no cookie, that means the user has not logged in, or there is no account. Then what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to tell the user log in and come to this place. What about the this place? If you have gone through all the cookies, you have all the cookies on earth but not the user ID cookie. That again means that user has not logged in. So we will have to redirect the user for logging in. How do I do that thing? Let's go here and let me create a login page to the user so that user can log in. So we are going to send the user to that page and say, okay, log in and come back, I'll take care of it. So I will go here to web page, right click on it, and I'm going to say I'm going to add a JSP now. I would have added a servlet. If I add a servlet, I would write the entire HTML on my own, so it's going to take some time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a JSP page, and I'm going to call this as login. If you want, you can even call it as login page, so you're not getting confused as to what is it. So you're sending to X. So finished that. So what is the usual thing which is there in any login page? There is two options, username and password. So let's get it in that thing. So let me these things. I'm going to say please provide following information. Usually you don't find that kind of messages, but I'm just giving a demo, that's why I'm doing that. Now we have to get the username and password for validation. So what we can do? Yes, what we can do. we need a form. So we are submitting to some place. We need a form, and I'm going to place that login information in a neat table. So I'm going to create a table. I will just set the border for this table as 1 so that the border is visible. So I get that border for the table. Then in the first row, I'm going to take the first part is I'm going to display the message username, followed by in the same row I'm going to show a text box. So how do I get the text box? To get the text box, it is input, type is text, name is username without space, value is not there initially. So that is the first one. I get the username. This is the first row. TR and TR is the first row. Okay. In the next row, I'm going to create one more next row. In the next row, I'm going to put a TD and I'm going to say password. The column adjacent to it, I'm going to show something. What is that I'm supposed to show here? I'm going to show a text box, but it is a password. It's not an ordinary text box. So how am I going to get that thing? Again, it's an input. Type is, it's a password. Type is password. It's not a text. If it's a text, it will show you the text that is typed. Password will not show the text. Name of it is password. Value is, oops, I don't want to type anything. Keep it blank. So yeah. After this next line, we have a button that will ask the user to log in. So after this, one more row. On the third row, I'm going to show a TD and I'm going to put a input for this itself. Input type is submit. Oh, sorry. Did I type TD? Yeah, thank you. Type is submit. Name is login button. Value is login. So one button is added. Submit button is added in particular with the name, and there must be one more column. You cannot, the table must be balanced altogether. The next column I am going to leave it as blank. I won't type anything in the next column. That TD is required, otherwise it will not appear neat. Just run it to see how it's going to appear. So you get that username and password. So you can, I'm just made it as very simple, and the password that you type will not be shown, and you get this login. So you are able to get that. You may not get it like this in the real life, but it's okay. So we got that. Now what? Let's come back to the controller. Now the controller is here, and the controller finds that okay, the user is coming without the cookie, that is the user ID cookie. Then send the user to the other side. So how am I going to do it? I'm going to right click here on this method, and I'm going to say navigate to the source. There is a shortcut Control Shift B to immediately take you to the that, or I think Control B will also take you to the same place. So this is not required. Why that's not required is that is not required. This part is not required now. Why? I am not going to generate ID here. I am telling the user go there, generate the ID, come back to us. Come back here only if you have an ID. So I will select these lines, control and forward slash to remark it out. So they are not going to be part of the logic. Yes. Now I want to send the user, so I want to tell the user don't come here, go to some other location. How do I do that thing? Okay. For that I must know where is my servlet. So from my servlet I want, this is my servlet, I want to come to this place, that is login page. From there I want to send it to the login page. Now the problem is to do that thing I must know where is my servlet. So how can I know where is my servlet? To know that thing I must know which is the environment in which my servlet is running. In other words, I must know what is the context under which my controller is getting executed. So I'm going to ask the container, the web container or the web server, give me the context. What is the context? Context is the environment. If you know the environment, you will come to know who is there in your neighborhood. So I want that environment information. From there, I can say that, okay, you have come here, this is my location, you are supposed to go to the other location. So how to do that thing? There are many ways in which you can do it. Let's say how to do it through the environment. To do it through the environment, you have to get this one. Get, don't do it, context. I'm not there. Good. This is going to give you the context. Context is your environment. Then you must tell that thing get, okay, request dispatcher and specify a source like say, don't do it, login page.js. So this is, it's not complete. First of all, get the environment and then tell the environment that dispatch it elsewhere. That's one way. What's the other way? Other way is the simplest one. You have a response. Okay? So you have that response with you. I'm going to tell the response dot send redirect. What does that do? What does that do? There is a information. Okay. Temporary redirect response to the client using a specified redirect location URL. So what's the meaning of that? There are a lot of things behind it. You are telling the, so the browser has come to your place. So from some location, the browser is coming to the controller, and the controller has asked, okay, do you have the cookie with the user ID. The controller says no, then don't come here, go elsewhere, get the cookie and come back. So that's what you are saying. You are redirecting them not to this place, to some other place. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. Response dot send redirect. What is this send redirect? You are telling, say, you are responding back to the client. So your Internet Explorer or the Firefox has come to the controller. You are telling it, you are responding it back, and you are saying it, don't come here, go elsewhere. So send a redirect message to the browser. This redirect has a code, HTTP code. The controller, if the header has that code, it's an indication to the browser saying that you are supposed to go to some other location. Sometime, I don't know, you might have observed that when you visit a page, usually if you visit a university page and other things, you will get a message saying that this page has been moved. Your browser will automatically be redirected to some location. If you are lucky, you will be able to see that. So usually they write a JavaScript for that, telling the user that the page that you are visiting is not available at this location. It has moved to some other location. Please go to that location and come back. Okay. So how am I going to redirect this? To redirect this, I'm going to say this is login page dot .jsp. So is it going to? So it just says you are supposed to handle a exception. It's an input output operation. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to say surround this statement with the try catch. This says you are supposed to. There could be an exception. So I'm just saying that, okay, surround that statement with the exception. You handle the exception. I don't care about the exception because I'm doing a demo, but in real life you can't do that. Okay. So what will happen if you run this servlet now? Okay. Remember, I hope you have run this one first. Run this one first to clear all the cookies so that you have no cookies with you. That's important. You should not have any cookie on the browser, so it has to clear all the cookies. Then go to this controller and run this. What you notice? Even though you visited the controller, but you got redirected. So you notice it has taken you to, if the spelling is not proper, you will get an exception. The spelling must be proper, whatever you have written in this. Send.redirect, the spelling must be same as the page name. If that spelling is different, you will end up in a big trouble because the browser then, your server will then complain and say that, I don't know which page you are talking about. Okay. So this is simple thing. You are sending the user is coming to you and the user says, I don't have an ID, go, log in and come. Okay. So user is here now. You have redirected the user. You have redirected the user to this page. User will type the username and password and then click on this login button. When the user clicks on login button, what you are supposed to do? Send them back to the controller. So user went to the controller said don't come here, go to the other place, get something from the other page, then come back to me. So when you click on this login button, you are supposed to go back to the controller. How do you write that statement? So let's go to this JSP page. After logging in, where you are supposed to go? So how do I say that thing? I am supposed to go to a place. Where is that place? Slash. Where is the location? Location is back to the controller. So I'm going to say send me back to the controller. That's the spelling controller. So I'm saying that action is this. Let's do it again. So we are there in the controller and we run this application from the controller. So we are sending a request to the controller. I hope there are no cookies here. And the controller just says don't come here. Hope that's a page. The controller said don't come here. I type the username and I type some password. When I click on here, what is going to happen? What's going to happen? Again, I'm going to go to uh, controller. What is the name? Same place I have written. I am supposed to write the proper name. Did I use the slash there? It's not really. Just a mistake. It's not really required. The slash is not required. You send it to the controller. Let me. That slash. I've used the slash here. Slash is not really required. So you're back to the square one again. You type your name and you type some password. You click on login and you notice nothing happens, it just comes back. What is happening? In turn, what is happening? When you click on login, again you go back to the controller. Again you say, I have this thing. Then the controller is again asking you, do you have the cookie? You still don't have the cookie, don't come here. Go back to the page. So what is happening now is, when you click on this login button, you actually go back, but you still don't have the cookie. As long as you don't have the cookie, controller, you will redirect you to the same page. So you're coming back to the square one again and again. So that's not a good thing. So we have to change some logic within our controller. So let's go to the controller now. There's some minor problem with our controller. What's a minor problem with the controller is right at the beginning we start judging the user and we just check whether the user has a cookie, and if the user doesn't have a cookie we just tell the user to go elsewhere. Now what we are supposed to do? User came to the controller asked, do you have a cookie? The user said, I don't have a cookie. Then controller sent that user to the login page. User typed the username and login. Now the user is coming back with the username and password. So now what you must do, you have to check whether that username and password is proper, then give a new ID to the user. So when the user is coming back, the first thing that the browser was asking, the controller was asking is, do you have the cookie? Okay, you don't have the cookie. But are you coming back because you typed the username and password? If that's the case, then it must check or it must validate the username and password. So what I'm going to do here now. So I'm going to ask the user, this question I will ask it later. I'm going to ask the user, are you coming here because you have clicked on that login button? So that is the question. This question comes later. So I ask the user, are you coming here just because you clicked on the login button? Okay. So how do I do that thing? I'll have to go to the request and I'm going to say get parameter and the name of this login button. The name of the login button must be same as what you have typed here. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to get it here. So what is that I am asking? Say this is the login button in the JSP page. This must be same as the one that you typed here. So now I am asking the user, okay, are you coming here because you clicked on the login button? If the user says yes, how do you write that statement? The user says yes. How do you say that? If it is not null, what's the meaning of that? If it is not null, if the login button is not null, what is the meaning of that? The user says, I clicked on that login button, that's why I'm coming here. Then the story changes altogether. Now what you are supposed to do? Now what you are supposed to do? Get the username, get the password. Then check whether they are proper. Then proceed with it. So let's get the two things. What is that thing? First is username. How do I get that username? Okay. Get parameter. I'm going to type those names there. Get parameter. Username. The names of the variables must be proper. That's username. Then I'm going to say request dot get parameter, and I think I wrote it as password. Okay, so you got the username and password. But now you have a problem. What is the problem? The problem now is you redirect the user to this page, and the user types some name, but before typing password the user just clicks on login. So that means it's the half information that is sent back to you. In that case, what you are supposed to do? Go back to the user and tell the user you have not typed everything. Okay. Again, ask the user type everything and come back. So you have to validate. In other words, you have to verify that user has typed a username and password. So let's take care of that. Let me go here and let's start with the username. So we are going to check is the username is blank. That means no username is typed. This is null. There is a second option, or I'm going for the second option, or okay. So what is the meaning of it? Do verification, either nothing is typed or blank. It's not allowed. In that case, what must be done? In that case, tell the user, see this, what you've done is wrong. Type everything, get back to me. So you have to send some information to the user. You can't just show the page again and again to the user. User will get confused. Some message has to be shown to the user, telling the user that username is not typed or it is not proper. So how do we do that thing? We will generate a string message and we will send that message to the user. So I'm going to say request dot set attribute. We are already familiar with it. Set attribute. Okay. User name error. Okay. Value is please type user, or yeah, what is the usual message that username cannot be blank. I will just say username. Usual message is username cannot be blank. So you got the request, add one parameter, send it back to the place from where you got it. So how am I going to do it? This message has to go back to the user. So how to do it? So this time you have to pass this request object back to the login page. Last time you said, if you check here, somewhere you said in this place you said that don't come here, go to some other location. That was easy. This is slightly different thing. What you are saying now is this request has to go back to some other location with additional information. So how to do it? This time what you are supposed to do is not the redirect. You can't say don't come back because they have come back to you but with some problem. So you have to say that go back to the same place, show the same page again, and then tell the user that there is something wrong in this page. Okay, how to do it? For this, I have to get the servlet context. This time, I have to get the context. I have to get the environment so that I know where is the next page. Then I'm going to say what is the what do you say that redirect? Is that what send? What do you say that? Get request dispatch. Get request dispatcher. Now, what is the word itself says get a request dispatcher. What is the meaning of saying get a request dispatcher? You're going to send this request to the other page. So you're just asking the context, the environment. I want somebody to take this request and give it to the other page. So that is what you are asking. So you are going to the server. You are asking, I want somebody to take this request. I have a message for that page. I want somebody to take that and give it to the JSP page. So what is the name of the JSP page? Login page.jsp. So this is the page, login page.jsp. So what you are saying now is you are telling the context, the environment that I want to send a request back to the other side. It's not enough that you get, when you say get request dispatcher, you get the dispatcher, a object that can take the information. But what information you are supposed to take? What information you are supposed to take is the request and the response that you are receiving. So forward the request as well as response. You don't have the choice. You can't say just forward the request. If you are sending the request, the response, both of them will go back. So what you are saying now is, I got a request and response from the client. So from some page, but there is some problem with it. I want a dispatcher to send it across some other page. Now, in my case, I'm sending it to login page.jsp. It could be error page.jsp. It could be anything. You are just asking the context. I want a dispatcher to take this message to some location. Now, that some location could be anything. Here it is login page. It could be error page. It could be delete user page. Or it could be anything. Okay. So let's look at what's going to happen if you type this. Let me run this. So let's see whether are you coming back to the same page. So the first thing is you're back here. You don't type anything. Are you sending some problem? Where is it trying to send? If you put a slash here, that is the problem. There is some or other place. Sometime you have to put that slash. Sometime you're not supposed to put that slash. Should go. Okay, you're back. Okay, sometime you are supposed to put that. Is a bit confusing every now and then. I have put the slash. Last time I removed the slash. This time I'm just putting the slash. You will notice a strange thing. Here, if you look at this page, uh, if you look at this page, when you click on this, look at the URL. URL is not the login JSP. Look at that URL. URL is still not login.jsp. So what is happening? Inside, from within, it is redirected. It is not sending the request back to the client and asking the client go to that location. It's not doing it. It is taking the request and on its own, from behind the scene, it is sending it back to the login page. And you will notice that login, the username is not there. Here itself you can notice username equal to blank. Nothing is sent. So that's the problem. You are coming back. Now the user clicks here 100 times and he still finds that nothing is happening. So what you are supposed to do? You have to tell the user that there is something wrong. You just missed something. So show the error message to the user saying that something has gone wrong. So correct that and then try to submit it. So let's try to take care of that. When the user comes to this page, that is the message page. Remember, there are two places, two scenarios where there are two use cases why the user is coming back to this login page. One is because the controller redirected it. So controller asked, do you have a cookie? They said, I don't have a cookie. Then go. So that's a fresh. Other one is the user has not typed the username and that's why it is coming here. Now let's take the second use case. You came to this page because the user has not typed the username. So what must be done? You have to tell the user that you forgot to type the username. Type it. So how am I going to do that? So here, right in front of this text box where the username is shown, I'm going to give an error message saying that there is something wrong. You better complete this part and continue. So how to do that thing? How to go about this is, I will just put the, you can put it anywhere you want. Okay, before you show the text box, so right in front of, you might have noticed if you go to Google or any other site, if you are not type the username, it just a error message pops in and just says, okay, type the password or type the username, it's not wrong. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So I will go over here and I'm going to write some scriptlet. Note that thing and I'm going to type. If you get that error message, just cancel it. Let me get that error. I'm going to type that. What is that I'm going to type? Remember, in the second use case, what is happening in the second use case? The user has visited the controller without the username. So, if the user has visited the controller without the username, some message is sent to the user. Some error message is, username error message is sent. This is not a parameter, this is an attribute. So, when a page is rendered, I just check whether I have an attribute called as username error. Let me just copy that thing. If it's a string, so I'm going to copy this thing, Control C. And I will go to this login page. Here, I will just check string, okay, user error is request dot get attribute. Remember, it's not the parameter. Get the attribute with this name. So what is that I'm doing here? I'm just verifying. Okay, I will have to convert it to, that's the usual problem. Just one minute. So before showing the text box, I just verify whether there is a error message that need to be shown. So username error message is there. Okay, is it done? Yes. If there is no error message, if there is no error message, I think I will not convert it into string there. I will not convert it into string. What is the reason? Is because of this statement. If there is no error message, you will be trying to convert a null into string, and you may end up in trouble. Okay? A small variation for this. If this part is null, you will end up in calling a toString or null. So what I'm going to do is, I will just make this as the object. You know what is this object? What is this object? What is this object? What is this? What's that object? Yes, it's the great granny of all the objects that you are creating. That is the system.object. The entire Java starts from there. Okay. That system.object. I will to make it a simple one. Okay, let it. Now I'm going to create a separate variable here. String username error. So I'm just if there is no error, then it is a blank string. So I'm just changing the logic, that's all. If there is no error, then it's a blank message. If there is a error, then it is the other way around. So I'm going to say username error is user error dot toString. User error, toString is not there. Okay, this instance has come in between. So if this is not null, what's the meaning of saying if user error is not null? That means you actually have an error message. If you have an error message, show the error message. If you don't have an error message, show a blank message. Simple as that. Where am I supposed to show that blank message? I am supposed to show that message or error message or anything at this location. So if there is an error, I'm going to show it here, saying that username is required. So in front of this, I'm going to show username is required or some message. Okay. So let's go to this text box here, which was there, username text box. I'm making some space there. So after this username text box, I'm going to show the message to the user. What is the message? Message is the username error message. So right in front of it, I'm going to show the username error message. Let's go back to the controller and start over again. We'll go to the controller and we run the file. Controller, first thing the controller says is don't come here. Go to the login page. I'm not typing the username. You notice right in front of it. I'm not done all the adjustment there. So message comes. You have not typed the username. You're simply trying to click the. Okay, are you getting it here? So it goes there, checks, comes back. Are you getting this message? Okay, so you're sending it, getting it back. Okay, now you notice a strange thing. In the entire process, the controller is acting like a cop. He's asking when the request comes, he's either sending it to this direction or that direction or some other direction. And that is what is called as a controller. The work of the controller is not doing any heavy duty work. Controller is only guiding the request. The request has to go this direction or that direction based on some conditions. Okay. Now, are you getting this message? Are you getting this message? Okay. If you type this, don't type and do it. If you type this message, and then uh, if you proceed, what will happen is you will come back to a blank page. What is happening now? What is happening now? The first use case will work. So when you type, suppose if you type like this, you get a message. This is because username was not typed. When you type the user name, what will happen is that if statement is skipped. But what is the problem? After that if statement, you are checking for the cookie. The cookie is not there, again you come back to the same place. So when you type the username, there is that if statement. It skips that if statement. Username is not null. Okay, but after that what you have? You don't have a cookie. So you're back to the same place. Now, if you are checking for the username, you're supposed to even check for the password. So let's take care of the password also. I am not going to type too many things again and again. I will copy this if statement. It's the same thing that we are supposed to do it, only some minor modification. I will type this username not equal to same thing I'm going to do it. Only difference is this time it is not the username, it is this password. So wherever the username is there, I'm going to just check for the password. Okay, and the message now is not username error. The message now is password error. Please type password. Small variation is we are going for rest remains same. If the password is not typed, again it's a trap. We are sending it back. We're telling okay, it's not possible. We are supposed to type it. Okay, so let's go to the JSP page, and if there is a password error problem, we'll have to take care of it even in the JSP page. So it's not a different thing, only password error and password has been changed, nothing much. So this password is now getting validated to check whether the password itself is proper, otherwise again send back and do it. Let's go to the JSP page. We will have to do the same old thing. We will have to do the same trick even for the password. So I'm going to just copy this whole thing. I'm not going to type it again. In the JSP page, I'm going to type that, copy that thing. And for the password, so when the password starts here, I'll just paste it. Then I will make changes. So small variation. One is this is I will just say pass error, and this is password error. And I'm going to say password error. I'm going to make it as full here. If the pass error is not null, then the password error is pass error to string. The same thing that I've done. Check whether the password error is there. Password error is there. Uh, you show it, otherwise it's a blank password. Now I have to show it in front of that text box there. So I got that password error. I have to show it in front of this password text box. So I'm going to make some space here, and I'm going to show the error message at this location. And what's the error message? It is the password let's copy that error. So in front of the password also I'm going to show the same one. Let's do it all over again. So this is the second use case that you're trying to handle. You notice that it's a very simple problem. The user has no ID. You are trying to give an ID to the user, and you suddenly realize that it's going to explode like anything. So there's a lot of things you need to take care of. So you don't type the username, you get a message. Okay, you type. I'm not typed it. You've typed the username, but don't type the password. You get the error message. See this? You didn't type the password. But there is a problem. What is it? Have you visited your website? If you don't type the password, if you type the username, and if you don't type the password, when this page is shown again, that username is actually shown there. That's the usual thing. But we are not showing that. So you have visited so many sites and you just realize that okay, that's nothing. It is a lot of code behind that chain that is going running, and then because of that you are getting all these things. Now, if the password is not typed, they won't show you the blank password because the password usually appears in dots. So it's not possible for somebody to check that. Now there is a minor problem with this username itself. So let's go to the JSP. If this username was there already, then what you are supposed to do? How do I know that where is the error? When I run the program, where is the error? Go to this output. At the bottom you get this output. Then go to the glassfish. It will tell you if there is an error. It's going to show you the error. Where is the error? Now let's try to show the old username if it is there. So how to get that old username? Let's go to the JSP. We have taken care of the username errors. We have taken care of the username error. Let's take care of the one more thing, and that is the actual username. So let me create a string called as username, and I'm going to ask the request dot get parameter username. I will just verify if it is null. So if username equal to null, then I will set the username equal to blank string. If the username happens to be null, I don't know why that instance of is coming in between. The username is null, we set it there, and as a blank. I will go to this value here, and I'm going to show the value. So the value could be actual username or a null value. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to type the username. So let's give it a try now. Let's see whether we are able to. So we are here. I have not typed anything. Username. I've typed the username. I click on it. You notice that my last username is retained. Password will not be retained. Nobody will retain the password. They won't pass the password back and forth. It's not a good idea to pass the password back and forth. Okay. So you notice that when you don't type the username and then submit it, you are given this one. If you type some username and don't supply the password, that last value retains. You may find when you visited Google or some other place, you found that that's too silly. It is not silly. It is done using either JavaScript or directly using this. Usually it's done using a JavaScript because it is taking a round trip. You take the username blank form, go to the server, make the validation, send it back, again take it back and forth. Instead of doing that, write a small JavaScript itself that runs at the client side, and before it is submitted, you then and there verify. So verify first, then take it to the other side. That's the better way of doing it. Because I'm not handling the JavaScript for you, I will go for the other way around. Okay, so if you have a username and password, so let's you have a username and password, then what you are supposed to do is create a ID, then tell the user to do something. So let's take care of that. Let's go to the this place. When I not this one. So you have reached up to here. Username is not null, password is also not null, and the user has clicked a button. Now it's a time you have to verify whether the user has logged in or not. So let's take care of it. How to do that? So we validate the username and password. You can go to a database and do the validation. I'm not going to do that thing. I will go for a simplest technique, and the simplest technique is I take the username and I check whether the username itself is equal to password. This is just to bypass the access to the database. You may have a script that goes to the database and does the validation. That will complicate the issues slightly more. So what I'm doing is a simple validation. If that's the case, I will tell the user to go to some other location. First I will do that part. I have not created any cookie here. I will just redirect the user to some location. So how to redirect the user to some location? Let me create a page. This is not a part of the actual procedure. This is just to tell you that if the things are proper, you are supposed to generate a cookie. I have not generated that, and you are supposed to redirect the user to some other location. So let us go here and let's create a JSP page. I'm going to create a JSP page, and then I'm going to say login success. The name of this page is login success. So So you successfully logged in, and then onwards you can do anything. Let me finish it off. And I'm going to just give a message here. Login successfully logged in. Let's see. You have you are able to do it. You are going to the other side. Some message. Now let me go to the controller, and in the controller I'm going to redirect. How do you redirect? You say response dot send redirect to that page. So what is the page name I give? Login success.jsp. Else, so if username, and if this means to say that, this statement means to say that you have authenticated the user. So if the user is authenticated, you send him to some page. Else, show an error message. You have to show an error message to the user that your login was unsuccessful. You had some problem. Let's first take care of the first part. That is, I'll go to the controller and run the controller. First, I'll go to the login success. Then I'm going to go for the other one just to check whether I'm able to go to the other page. So I will go here. That's too much, I suppose. Close entire thing and rerun it again. So if I properly type the username, let's say I will type the same username and same thing as password. If everything goes fine, I must be sent to what is did I miss that slash? How did I send that redirect? Last time I gave the redirect slash. So let me, it's not possible. Are you able to get a redirection to the success page? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think there is one exception that it is trying to give me. Let me verify this. So there is some illegal statement here. Let's go to the output here. Where do we get that illegal statement? Send redirect. I think I am not handling null pointer. Oh yeah, this username. Just to verify. Am I there inside this? Username is available. Password is available. I think then there is a problem with the null pointer. Username, password is not null, is not null. When it comes here, you have the both of them are null. Should have gone to that. Let's come here. Edit. Or else I need to handle a exception. Let me clear this thing. This logs. Give an exception for that. Either I might have typed a bracket which is not available or which is not lawfully. You are getting it? I think I have. The possible reason is I have missed a bracket this time. Somewhere I just missed. In this place, did I miss a bracket? It could be one of the reason that one of the bracket is being missed out. This is problem. The possible reason is that it just becomes too much if you try to end up in that kind of form. So just by introducing that line, I'm having a problem. The other possible reason is this thing is getting a null value after some time. Username and password. Check if username not equal to null and password not equal to null, if username dot equals password, then response dot send redirect to login success. Just a minute. Login success. Yeah. Just give it a try. Uh, then this word is not proper, I suppose. Either it is getting a null value or something. Except him, anybody else is getting the result he is able to get. Others are getting it? No? You're getting it? Yes or no? You're getting it? There is somewhere I'm missing it. I really don't get where that error of is.
He didn't give the value. Like value input user. He didn't give the values.
So that if that is the case, you say it will trap it here. No, no, that without any cross verification also it just comes here and says this. Okay, in that case, what I can do is the other way around. That's not the long way of doing it, and that is get the context, go for the redirection. So how do I get it? Get servlet context I'll do it other way around. I think I'm missing somewhere a small thing that I'm not getting it. Then I'm going to say, see, send, uh, get request dispatcher for the get a request dispatcher for the login success. Get a request dispatcher for login success.
So what that equals is underlined?
Yeah.
Equals.
Hmm.
It is underlined in yellow color.
Where is it? Now in the previous here, no,
Yeah, yeah.
it
I'm
feels
not.
that it's just a warning. You notice over here, it is a possible null. So it just feels that see that this code is there. It is not interested. Somewhere you assigned a value, so it just thinks that if there is a possibility that one of them could be null. So
I'm
you
not
said
getting. I'm not having.
which one?
That equal underline is not there.
No, this is dereferencing. Okay. Possible, it just says possible. Let me run it. I think I'm there at the somewhere out of a bracket or some place something is going on. Let's see with this one. Are we getting? Okay. I'm going for the other way. In both the cases, what I've done is I'm just trying to redirect. In the one place, it just says I can't do it. Are you coming up to this place now? Okay. Now, last time what I did was I was trying to send a redirect. This time what I'm saying is I'm dispatching it on my own. There is this else part what was required. This is the other use case. What is else now? Else you have a problem. What is the you have a problem? Else you have a problem with the username and password. So let's create request dot set attribute. Okay, I'm going to say invalid let's say that's it username or let's say wrong username or password. So it's an invalid login. Anything you can say. Username, wrong username or password. The same thing, you will have to send them back to the place from where they came back. I'm not going to type it again because it's already there here. Request.login, login JSP, forward, and all those things. I'm going to just take it from here. This is for the login page. You have to send them back to the login page. Send them back to the login page. In the login page, what you are supposed to do? In the login page, show one more message. So I am redirecting them to the login page. Let's go to the login page. And in the login page, either you can show it at the top or afterwards, it's up to you. I will show after the form. You can show it after the form also, it's up to you. I will just show it after the form. So I'm going to go here. Shall I directly show it, or I think I'll get the variable and do it. string. First I'll get it as object in invalid error is request dot get attribute. Remember, this is attribute, it's not the uh, parameter. You set it as an attribute and the name of the attribute must be proper. So let me go here and get that attribute name, invalid login. I'm going to take this so that I can avoid typos there. I'm going to type a string here, string invalid login error is null. If invalid error, that is if this object, if it is not equal to null, that means there is a error, then you are going to say invalid login error equal to invalid error to string. So if there is a message, you just return that message. Now I want to show this in the form of a span. Just want to show it like a span. So I'm going to use span. And within that span, I will show it. The reason why I'm showing it in the span is I would like to have it shown in red color. So how do you get a red color for this span? Yes, let's go for a style, inline style. Yes, how do you write a style for that? Okay. Shall I say color or background? Okay, color. Color is red. A inline style is added just to make it look like red. So is it proper or is it showing me something? It's not happy with that. If it is not happy with that, just do that. Okay. So let's go to the controller and run it. Username one something else. Username is still retained. Password is not retained. You don't retain the password. Yes. Okay. But we missed the major part. What's that major part? We have not used the cookie in any place. So this part is not the main theme that we were working on. This is part of our work. So we are handling the error messages, everything. So where is the cookie? Cookie has to come at this place. Before you send a request to the login page, create a cookie and just add it there. So let's create a cookie. I'm going to create a cookie, random. Okay. So you create a new cookie, user ID, value is UID plus then what is the next thing? Add it to the response. Okay. Run it now and things should go. You're just adding the response. So I'm going to type proper thing. Yes. Okay. Next time if you run, what will happen? Next time if you run this page, what is going to happen? Run this page again. It's blank. Why it is blank? You have not clicked on the button, but there is a cookie. It is this blank page is coming because look at here what you have done. You said if the cookie is not there, you break it, then show something. But now the cookie is there, but you are not redirected the user. That is the problem. So here, if the cookie does not exist, you did something. Else, what you were supposed to do? Else, you were supposed to send them to the other side. So, shall I redirect the user, or that is, I think, the easy option, but it may create a problem. Request dot send. Sorry, not the request. Response dot. This created a problem last time, but still I'm going to take a risk with that. Let's run it. I think it must go now. So I'm close everything, entire Internet Explorer, give it a try, run it, and did I miss the next time if I run it? Is it taking me? Next time onwards, it's always login success. Why it is login success is that cookie is there with you and nothing is getting validated. So you are simply coming here, the cookie is there, it just takes you to the login success page without asking any question because it has already authenticated you and it has given you a ID. I hope you got the idea. It was a bit complicated, but you got the idea. One thing you will realize that I have made these things bit complicated. The reason for this is the controller. You will notice that for any request that arrives at the controller is redirecting your request to some location. So it gets a request, redirects it. This is working like an MVC. It is not perfect MVC, but it works like a MVC. You get a request, you send it to the controller. Controller decides who is going to perform the work. So you have the view, which is JSP. You have the controller, but I have not shown you the model. If I had shown you the model, then I have to